going really well. I just did a couple of bad things, so I had to shoulder.
There he is! Right, it's good to see you all here. I'm glad that you all made it. It's good to see all your faces. I have a question. What do you mean you got a question? Shut the fuck up. Anyway, before we carry on, what are we going to say to the actual audience of this video?
Like and subscribe.
One more time, I can't hear you. What are we going to say?
Like and subscribe.
Thank you. I thought it would be a good opportunity to make an end of year video, seeing as we've had a pretty good year. We've done a lot of projects, we've been out and about, been to a load of new places, experienced a few new things, met a load of new people, so I thought it would be quite nice to condense it all down into a nice little end of year video. And I've got pretty high aspirations for next year. I feel like 2025 is also going to be a big year. I feel like we're going to do a lot of projects as well. Do a lot more exploring, do a little bit more travelling, see some new places, and who knows, maybe move out.
What the fuck?
First question. How was 2024 for you?
Turbulent.
2024 was a very good year.
Right, 2024, an interesting year.
Yeah, it started off really good, was going really good, and then have had pretty much every positive thing going for me fall apart.
2024 for me has been a year of, I'm going to call it my year of reflection.
It's had its ups and downs, but mostly ups. Like, it's been okay. It has been okay.
I was able to do a lot musically. I produced my first track.
I feel like some things have sort of stagnated a little bit, but maybe in a way that's a good thing because, you know, well, we've got like the house now, got a little family, got our little cats. It's like, it's all good. It's all good right now, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've spent a lot of time reflecting on past mistakes and also reflecting on my desires and my, you know, my goals, my journey. Like, I think I want to achieve more now from it.
Yeah, it's had its highs and it's had its lows. So in April time, we went to Austria. We went to Vienna and Salzburg because Ellie and I, she's off camera, are big Hills of Ice fans. What are they called?
Hills of
Sound of Music fans.
It's not done yet, and we will continue to keep striving for the goals.
It's good, on the whole, I would say. Mainly because I went on loads of holidays, went to loads of gigs, I ticked off loads of bands that I wanted to see. Yeah. That was like a big thing for me this year.
And then we started planning for our big 2-weeker trip because it's been a long time since we've done one of those. So we were planning to go to America because we kind of had a lot of memories there as kids. And big news for us when we were out there, we got engaged. So that's, I don't know why I'm showing you my hand, I haven't got a ring yet. So we got engaged out there, which is incredible.
And yeah, like been doing some new things, like learning Italian, loosely, not as much as you.
Very good at it.
It's okay, it's okay. But yeah, I did some new things, and in general, I'd say work is going well.
Overall, I'm not writing this year off, but I think it's been a successful one.
But yeah, 2024 was a very good year for me, personally, professionally, and musically. It was very good.
But at the moment, it's not looking good, bruv.
It's not looking good, bruv.
It's not looking good, bruv. But we move.
And then towards the end of the year, it's been tough. My nan, not too long ago, last 2 weeks, passed away. So losing a big foundation of the family is always difficult. But on the other side, it's nice to see the family come together and rally around everyone to get through these shit times. So yeah, it's had its highs and its lows. It's just one of these ones that just helps build you as a person. So,
what have you learned this year?
What we've learnt this year is that you should only worry about what you can control. And if you can't control it, why worry? Perfect example, I can't even go into too much detail because there's current legal proceedings around some of my situations. But I know, and I can go to bed knowing that I have done all I can in the best way possible, and I'm proud to have done everything I've done this year. And if the powers that be want stuff to happen, it will happen. It's very hard to accept it, and it's painful and it's stressful and it's upsetting, but I can go to bed every night knowing I've been the best man I can be.
That's a very good question. I think what I've learned this year is that it is easier to produce something you can be proud of than you might initially think. I had a lot of riffs in the tank for well over a decade, and it was really just finding someone that you can sit down with and work it out with, and end up with a product that you can look back on and be proud of. So I found it's easier to produce good art than maybe you might think. So.
I think this year's been a big year for reflection. I think I've had a lot of kind of anxiety this year, which has been brought on because other people in my family have been ill. So it's almost like a knock-on health anxiety. And it's almost taught me to reflect on things and stop taking things so seriously. It's very easy to get lost amongst it all around everyone else being unwell and work being shit. But actually, you've got to take a step back sometimes and realise that life's not bad at all. I've got a lovely roof over my head, a beautiful partner, now fiancée, soon to be wife. I've got amazing friends. I've got amazing family. I think this year's been a year of just being grateful and appreciating what you have when you have it, and don't take things for granted.
So I think as I get older, I get happier because I know myself better and I know what makes me happy. And yeah, I'm clear on how to go and fulfill that. I think a big point of learning for me has been, what does that look like? How do you like frame the language of going and doing what you want to do? Because that's a nebulous question in itself. You don't always know how to answer that. One of the things that I've arrived at in terms of my orientation, what I'm going towards in terms of making myself happy, if it's not expectations of others, if it's not, what the society, the culture, whatever, suggests you should do. I think what I arrived at was being someone that I'd personally be proud of. And there's all, kind of slightly pretentious, existentialist stuff that you could go into with that. But I think that the simple truth at the heart of it is there's no other perspective than your own. And I think getting to a point of knowing myself better and quietening down kind of all the chatter of listening to voices elsewhere, I think I get more clarity on what I need to be doing. And that's been an important point of learning for me. If it's not looking elsewhere at expectations that are of the society, of other people, of whatever else, what are the things that I want to be doing? It comes from that point of what would be a person that I would be proud of. And I think that's been really useful for me as a point of orientation for myself and the rest. We're at that point of young adulthood, I think I'd say, where it reminds me of Finding Nemo, right? Where they're on the reef and they're like looking at the drop off, and the reef comes to an end and then it's just big open sea. And we're at that point where like we've gone through school, gone through uni, like started careers, and you get to this point where it's like, okay, well now what do you do? There's this big open sea of the rest of your life. And I think I was looking for, okay, well what do I do? What's my orientation? And for me, having arrived at being a person that I'd be proud of has been really useful for that.
Nice. Did you watch Finding Nemo today?
No, but there's time after this.
Trust my gut more rather than overthink everything. Spend a bit more time listening to what I think feels right. I think you can get bogged down in thinking about, if I do X, the scenario is going to end like this.
rather than just trying something out, try something new and just seeing what happens. And 9 times out of 10, if you do something new, you're going to enjoy it.
I know it sounds a bit cringe, but like it's okay if I be myself a little bit. I've like really sort of become, well, like kind of got back into stuff that I was into when I was a kid, and it's fine. Like I'm playing RuneScape again. I'm skateboarding again. I'm, you know, just letting myself be who I am, and I'm good with that.
Not quite as deep as yours, and I've kind of already mentioned it, but one thing I learned was Italian. Like, but you know, I haven't mastered it yet, but I've been learning it, and I would say that's a good learning point. But yeah, for me, it's largely been a case of, kind of touched on yours a little bit, and feeling more comfortable with yourself. And I've been chatting to you about this as well, and you know, you've been doing your meditation and things like that, and it helps you greatly and all this kind of stuff. For me, it's more a case of like, you know, I get positive affirmation elsewhere, and I don't necessarily feel it myself. And I guess one of the learning points for me has just been a case of like, you know, acceptance that, you know, things are better than they are. Like, I'm not necessarily saying like I'm always in a negative headspace or anything like that, but like, don't sweat the small stuff so much, to sum it up. And yeah, largely on the whole, I'm pretty good at that, but I would say I've learned more to do that this year.
What have you discovered about yourself this year?
2 things I would say. One, that I'm far more tenacious than I thought I was. Like I've been so resilient this year, and that's come from like previous years of proper mental struggle and physical struggle. I've got that dog in me, it turns out. I have been grafting, grinding. Even if the results don't go my way, I'm still pushing forward. So there's definitely levels of tenacity in myself I've never seen before. I know the whole like work hard, graft culture is like shamed in society nowadays, but I do think that there is a resurgence in good work ethic, good morals, good accountability, and striving to be the best person you can be.
That I love money. No.
2, I have learned that I am worthy of the love I give others. I'm in a very loving and committed relationship that is based around good communication, trust, listening to each other's needs, and knowing that relationships aren't always equal. Sometimes you can give 10%, sometimes you can give 80%. And just communicating that between your significant other and yourself is vital, and it can work with the right person. So, yeah, I found out I'm lovable again, which is lovely.
I have discovered about myself that there's probably, if you've worked hard at something, it's probably more impressive to others than you maybe might think. Maybe because you've been chipping away at something for so long that you just get desensitized to it, kind of like boiling a frog. They don't realise, because it happens gradually. Whereas someone could come in and be like, oh, it's a bit warm in here, isn't it? I think that's what I've learned. I discovered about myself that I had some skills that I've been working on for ages that I just thought was a bit mundane, but other people have come and said, no, it's pretty cool. So that was very cool to discover.
One thing I've learnt more about myself this year is to be a bit more vulnerable. I'm still struggling with kind of being open about certain things, around work stresses, life stresses, general emotions of just being an adult in this shitty period of time, but I'm trying to learn to digest my emotions and also open up to those closest to me as well. So I think that's what I've tried to focus on this year, is being open, being honest.
I was able to do something I never expected I would ever do, which was get a tattoo.
Oh, hell yeah. I love it.
And
That's sick.
Lord of the Rings. But yeah, no, I was adamant on never getting a tattoo up until this year. So I discovered that I was like, you know, willing to go through with that. Like, I never even entered my mind.
I discovered I'm a little bit of a control freak. I like things to be in a certain way and know the outcome. As I said before, I think it's important to not do that all the time because you never try anything new. don't feel like there's been like a bad period throughout this year. I think it's been pretty good. But the thing that I've hated most about this year is that with all the band practice and music stuff and all the vlogging, filming, is just self-electing myself to be the guy that sets everything up. Just constantly dealing with cables and inputs and outputs, and I feel guilty at band practice when we spend the first half hour of me just setting everything up for like the in-ear monitor system, and they're all plug and play just waiting for us to start rehearsal. So yeah, I hate it, but at the end of the day, doing all this prep work and stuff is very much worth it, because you know the outcome is that you get a pretty sweet in-ear monitor mix, you know, if we're just patient and wait for me to set everything up. So I think, yeah, being the roadie hasn't been fun, but ultimately it's paid off.
Yeah, I guess this kind of links into my kind of first question about the year as a whole. I mean, the first 2/3 of the year, great. Lovely holidays, lovely memories, engagement, new family, building all that out. And then obviously towards the end of the year it's been shit. I say it's been shit because it was the pinnacle of shit, essentially. It's what it all boiled down to. My nan being really, really ill, and then she obviously passed. But she'd had a long run-in of being ill before that. So it was kind of a slow burner to an inevitable end that we were kind of all just waiting for. But although it was shit, in reflection, I got to spend a lot of time with her. We all got to spend more time with her than we thought we would have, which we've all got to be grateful for. So although it is a slightly morbid end to the end of the year, you've got to be grateful to have spent these times with the people that you loved.
Right now, it sucks. But I don't not like it. Like, there hasn't really been a period of this year that I haven't liked. I've been able to find the beauty in the struggle with everything this year, and I think there are things that I've not enjoyed as much, but it's nonetheless a privilege to be in all these situations and positions I've found myself in. I'm in those positions because I've worked hard, I've been a good man.
It's a tough one. I always think post-holiday is a bad one. Like, I think summer holiday, we had a great year as well. Like, we, as a group and like as individuals, I think have achieved a lot. And I think after that sort of summer come down, it can be a bit like, oh shit, it's going to be 8 months till we see the sun again, or like go on holiday again. So I'd say like September.
Wake me up when September.
Wake me up, but literally Green Day had it fucking bang on. Wake me up when September ends.
Yeah, I have one for this. There was a period of time in which the bathroom was leaking water into the kitchen, and that's not a good feature of a bathroom. So we need to change that.
In general.
Or house in general is bad. Yeah. So we went through like the process of it being fixed several times to no joy. Still water coming through the ceiling, not good. Eventually bit the bullet and had to do the whole bathroom rework. That having one bathroom meant that we were needing to be out of the house. We timed it so that the week that we were away in the summer would be the first week of 2, away for a week, come back, spend a week with Dan's parents, and Dan's went back to his parents, and Bob's your uncle. Within 1 week, we're back in a sealed and non-leaking bathroom. What ended up happening is that it dragged on for I think 5-6 weeks in the end.
Didn't start until we got back from holiday.
Yeah, I will say that they did a really good job. They did things, to a great standard. I felt very guilty because Dan's wonderful parents had let me come stay with them for what was supposed to be a week that turned into 6. But I will say the silver lining of that was that it was actually so much fun being.
We had a lot of
your
fun.
parents' house.
We had a lot of fun.
They're lovely people.
Yeah.
All right, then on the flip side of that, best moment this year.
Best moment. One of the best moments was in the early part of the year where I took my missus to the Dolomites, and we road tripped from Florence, where she lives, up to the Dolomites on the Austrian-Italian border. It was snowy. It was at the top of Secheda. It was amazing. Then, I went to Mexico, which is where my partner's from. met all of her family at her uncle's wedding. I'm learning a new language, 262 days on Duolingo. Yo hablo poco español, pero yo aprendo grande. I probably butchered it. What I'm trying to say is, I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I'm learning a lot.
Best moment this year. So I played the 100 Club in March. That was very, very cool. Metallica played there. So that was a bucket list item for me. Recording that solo earlier in the year is a real highlight for me. I thought that was very, very cool.
If you can't see off camera, Els like doing this. No, best moment this year was America as a whole. America, for me, was the first time I'd switched off in a very long time. It was the first 2-week holiday I'd had in 6-7 years, and there was a lot riding on it. So prior to it, with the hurricane, there was so much stress involved, and I knew, but Elle didn't know that obviously I already had a ring, I'd already asked the parents for permission, and there was so much fucking riding on this holiday that no one really understood. Well, everyone apart from Elle did. But then we'd hyped it up, we got out there, which was great, had an amazing holiday, just lived like absolute fucking kids for 2 weeks, did whatever we wanted to do, whenever we wanted, ate shit, went on rides, just lived our childhood again. And then the icing on the cake was getting engaged to the love of my life. It was so special. I proposed to Elle on Cocoa Beach, which was a beach where she'd spent time with her family as a kid. And I played one of her favourite songs, which is kind of cringy, but it's the Glasgow Love theme from Love Actually. She started bawling her eyes out. I tried my best to compose myself, to get it done and dusted. And now we're here. Wedding next.
Seeing Dom get married twice. Our good friend Dom, who is not around here, he's finishing his PhD at Oxford. He got married to his wonderful wife, Kim. They did 2 ceremonies, one in the UK, one in Canada, where Kim is from. Mm-hmm. It was an absolute joy. Yeah. Going to both. It's like in equal parts like scary, the fact that you get to the age where, oh my goodness, your friends are getting married now. We're like real adults, people doing real things. Yeah. But lovely in the fact that you get to see them do it, It's a really nice thing to be a part of, and a great party as well.
And you're dressing up, you're going to this lovely venue,
There's a few standout things, like the little trip we had to the spa was great. Me and my partner, we spent a couple of days just forgetting about everything in the world. That was really lovely. And some highlights would have been playing D&D with everybody. That's always really good fun. There's not been anything remarkable this year. Everything's been quite smooth sailing, which is fine.
So D&D is one of those things that I've always wanted to do but never had an outlet to do it. Similar kind of to how Steph and I have played Airsoft. When I was a kid, I never had anyone that I could do that with, so I just collected it by myself and never actually played games. But then meeting Steph likes guns, let's play Airsoft. Similar to how I used to collect Warhammer but never used to play because I never used to have anyone. Sounds really fucking sad and woe me. It's not. I'm not trying to get at that angle, but I always enjoyed these things by myself, but it's nicer to share them with people who also enjoy it as well. So D&D, for example, Joe obviously had a separate campaign with his other friends and was like, is this something you guys be interested in? And yeah, I've loved every minute of it. It's the game itself is extremely fun. I love it. We can get into character, mess around, be stupid. But I think the bit that I take the most away from it is being able to spend quality time with friends, which you don't get to do often in this crazy world we live in, where we have little to no time. But just allocating an afternoon where you spend 5 to 6 hours with your best friends, chatting shit, eating food, having a laugh, and not thinking about anything else apart from that moment is special.
I'd been playing with another group for I think maybe about 2 years or so. And I kind of dabbled with it before with various people, but I'd never DM'd. And with this group, we had a game night where we played some board games, and then said let's give D&D a go. And we found we really liked it. I spoke to Steph. I was talking to him about it. He showed a kind of interest, and we got another group together all first-time players. Pretty much all first-time players except for me, and it's great. It's really fun, and it gives you a sort of excuse to kind of all get together and hang out. I think as a like mortgage-paying adult, it's also nice that it's kind of free, so you don't have to go out together and spend a whole bunch of money. But it's fun. Like everyone, it gets involved, and you just make little bets with some stupid weird dice, and that's kind of all there is to it. Like I think everyone enjoys it.
The whole year, really. I've done so much this year. I've done numerous camping trips. I've done 2 holidays with my partner, and it's been brilliant. Like we've never done that together as a couple, let alone 1 holiday, but 2. We went to Dubrovnik in April, and then we went to Mallorca in August, and it's just been absolutely brilliant. It's been nice to kind of relax and unwind from work. And yeah, it's just meeting the new band. So many years ago, I met Gabs in Oakley Fitness in Petts Wood, and me and Joe met him, and we kind of exchanged Instagram and started, following each other on Insta. And for many years, I feel like social media has been a curse. I hate social media. I hate being on apps like TikTok and Instagram. For years, I've been contemplating to delete Instagram, but I just never did. And it's a good thing that I never did, because if I did, Gabs would never have been able to reach out to me and ask me to play in a band. So I think one of the best moments was that I was invited to be the bass player for a new band. And that's been brilliant. At first, because I'd only ever played with Joe and Sam, and that's been like the only band I've ever played with, and it felt like I was cheating on them. I felt so guilty, and they were fine with it. But yeah, I guess it was like meeting new people and getting to make and play music with a new band as well.
Aidan and I went for dinner to have a catch up, because obviously we're schoolmates, but we hadn't seen each other for a while. We caught up, we were talking about how we used to play music together, because when we were about 15 and picked up guitars and looked up to, like big rock and metal bands, that was our world. It was all about being in bands and learning these guitar riffs and going to the concerts and trying to have the most eclectic taste and things like that. And that was a really exciting period. And we were talking about how since we went away to uni, since we started working, we hadn't really been doing that. I hadn't picked up my guitar in a while. And we were saying how fun it would be to start playing music again. And so we started. I'd met a man called Stefan previously. And we spoke about music and stuff like that. I'd seen people doing stuff on Instagram, keeping busy with the music. You were still doing stuff with music, playing your drums. And so we thought, we could probably get a little group together. We got a practice date in. We started playing together. And I've got to say, it was so much fun. We've done
much fun.
How many practices? Like 6 maybe now?
Yeah, 6 or 7,
6 or 7. It's just so...
Got my girlfriend involved on vocals as well.
Singer.
We wouldn't keep doing it if we weren't having a good time, and there's no real pressure. Like there was a little bit into like before we meet up, it's like, oh, have I actually learned the song? But then you realise when we turn up, like 1 or 2 of us don't know it as well as the other 3, right? And it's absolutely fine. Like one of us will just play it through the mic for a second, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing, and then it's just get on with it. It's absolutely great.
Yeah.
And also like the chance meeting with Stefan, right, was mad, because didn't you guys meet in the gym once, and like years later you got in touch with him on a whim and said, would you like to do this? And then like and obviously you hadn't seen Aidan around, but like not really been close with him, and so it was a bit of like I've forgotten what the term is, but there was some anxiety in terms of like meeting up and just, oh, how's it going to go? Like, I've never met this guy before, and reigniting this friendship with an old schoolmate, and we're all coming together and playing instruments for the first time, and it's like, how is that going to go? But it was like seamless, really. Well, it felt seamless.
And I helped Aidan record some of his own original music, and that was also good. It was great for me. It means I can kind of upskill in mixing and stuff. And it's not me in the hot seat driving it for once, which is quite nice. I can just kind of listen to him play, record him, and do all the mixing and stuff, and he can just do the instrument side of things. And yeah, you get these funny moments where he's there like recording the guitar solo to his song, and he's like struggling to put something down. And I'm like there like, do you mind if I have a crack?
Hey,
Ooh.
please.
Oh no, the
If you
pressure.
could give me some fucking ideas.
Oh, I just want to see if there's anything I can do. What is it, E minor?
Yeah, it's funny because Aidan is like a really, really good guitarist. He's a real talent. And then there I am like playing an absolute steaming pile of shit for a solo to try and help him out and maybe inspire him.
That was like, you got the vibe straight down. There's that like Egyptian-y sound in that Phrygian sound that you got in there straight away. I liked how you started as well.
Yeah,
You
it's
started lower rather than going straight into that high.
try and start off.
And yeah, I mean, look, he took that away with him and he came back like a week later and he absolutely shredded the solo to his song and it ended up sounding brilliant.
What's your biggest achievement this year?
Okay. My biggest achievement, something that I'm really bad at is patting myself on the back. Maybe not this year, but it's spilled into this year, is probably just our house and the amount of work we, and not to blow my own trumpet, but I have done on it. Worked my arse off at work, at home, and it's very easy to overlook the things that you do and not appreciate the blood, sweat and tears that you've put into something and you just take it for granted. But actually, when I sit here and look around at our lovely house, I think, fuck, like, we've done this, I've done this, people have helped, and I think this house has been the biggest achievement of the year.
I have been working away at Italian for a little while.
Yeah.
Trying very hard. It's really difficult. It's really
You
challenging.
are fully conversational now, at least.
I would say I've kind of reached a level of conversationalness. I think I'm about a B2 on the CIFA framework, I think it's called. And that has been really exciting because when we've gone to Italy and stuff like that, I've been able to jump into situations where, you know, they might not speak English, so we can jump into Italian. I think people have really appreciated that when we've gone, because it shows you're making the effort. I think you get to experience like another place, I think, to a greater degree when you have an ability like, with the language as well. I've got Italian friends, and being able to speak with them is very exciting, very fun. So that has been an achievement. It's been a long time in the works. I think I've been learning it for maybe 2 years. But I think with a language, you're oftentimes assembling for a lot of the time at the start, almost like the bottom of the iceberg, with your knowledge of the grammar and wider vocabulary that you might not use for a long time, but then it comes up and then you can understand the sentence in its context. So that was kind of coming to fruition, I think, this year, keeping hard at it, keeping disciplined with it, getting to experience cool stuff from the kind of culture and the exports as well. There's a really cool Italian cartoonist called Zero Calcare, which translates to like no calcium, and it's from like a laundry detergent product that he decided was going to be his writing name. But it's really, really cool and stuff that I wouldn't have otherwise got to experience. So yeah, I would say that's been an achievement. Really enjoying having fun with it, really enjoying kind of the ways that you get to enjoy kind of other cultural products and exports, I guess. And yeah, excited to carry on with it and for more adventures.
Biggest achievement? Oh, do you know what? It has to be full fibre broadband. 100%. Biggest achievement up to now, full fibre broadband. Like, that's geeky as shit, but before that I was running like 20 meg probably, and now I'm running like 900, and I feel like genuinely life's different, you know?
I mean, how's that affected you? Like, latency, better latency?
Yeah, like gaming so much easier, you know, downloading something, bam, it's there. Whereas before it's like, oh, I don't even know if I can download it. We live in a time where everything you have to fucking download, like everything, TV show, like movies you're watching, YouTube, even games, like anything, you have to download it. Apps for your phone, like download that shit. Even connecting with your friends, you're not really, because I mean, fucking phone signal's bad. Yeah. So like, even 5G doesn't always work, even 4G doesn't work. So you need that Wi-Fi connect, you know, and 900's got you all day, man.
Oh, what have I achieved this year? Fuck me.
You're the world's best DM. That's for sure.
I think asking me that question is, like, a few things do come to mind. I think it's, like, with work has been good. Like, it's been hard, but I have made progress with work, and I have done some stuff with my job that I'm quite proud of. I think, kind of like I was saying before, like putting myself as a priority is something that I'm genuinely proud of as well. Like, that was a bit of an achievement in itself. But as I say, like, at this point, there's no real like goal that I'm working on, because I've kind of achieved the biggest thing that I wanted to achieve a few years ago, which was like getting my own house. And now that I have that, I'm kind of like thinking about what do I need to do next. But right now it's just living and just allowing space for life a little bit. I think that in itself is an achievement.
Mine, lots of little achievements. I don't have one big achievement to mention. I would say a lot of work stuff, in terms of like the level of seniority I'm getting to, and how I'm being recognised at my office, and you know, the relationships I'm building, the capabilities, the confidence level, I would say in general. But on the side of work, I would say cool little bits every now and then, like learning a new song on drums. Like, learned lots of new songs this year actually. Some more complicated than others, but you know, a new song is a new song. Like, it's great. My drummable playlist is now like nearly 500. It's like, wow. It's great. So whenever I just have 15 minutes, I'll go up and shuffle it, and I've no idea what was going to come up, because 500 songs in 15 minutes is tough. Very but cool. Yeah, so little bits like that, I would say.
This is a good one. You'll like this one. You got a lot to say on this one.
Do you reckon?
What's been your best purchase this year?
Ah, yes. The guitar stores near me love me, because I have bankrupted myself multiple times this year. So earlier in the year, I bought a Gibson Les Paul, my first Gibson Les Paul. I thought about it a long time, decided against it, and then just impulse bought it one day. That was good, because it showed me, to be honest, that you can spend a lot on a piece of musical equipment, and the improvements are marginal. There are improvements, but it's marginal. So I would think what changed, so it's nice just to have a Gibson. It's nice just to have it, and it plays good, it sounds great. But I think the bigger, I think what actually was the better purchase was I entered the world of modelling, amp modelling. Once again, after Steph, actually, that shows the inspiration there. He showed me that all of this money I'd spent on guitars was ultimately probably pointless. Not pointless, but not as good an investment as something like a good modeller.
If I'm brutally honest, best purchase has probably been my Duolingo subscription. I pay for the Super Pro, whatever it is, and I can now have a decent conversation with my partner's grandmother and grandfather and mum and their family in Spanish.
The Mark III, like no shot. That thing, £1,000. I felt bad for the guy I bought it from. Like legitimately, he didn't have a clue. Granted, it isn't running at the moment, but I feel like next year the Mark III is going to be the car.
Yeah, mine would be holidays. Mine would be holidays. I keep mentioning the same ones, but I'm going to say Montreal because, spending, that was a big purchase for that. Like, 900 odd quid for the flight alone. I know we got some money back, but, as a big financial commitment, but I'm so glad we did it because we had a week basically enjoying Montreal, but then we got to be at our mate's wedding and we got to meet all of these amazing people as well. And it was like just such a new experience. And it was, gorgeous weather when we were there. And on the whole, I just had like this amazing week. So that would be, best purchase. Because I always like subscribe to the idea that it's better to spend money on experiences rather than like, oh, great, you got a new Gucci bag. Yeah. What are you going to do with that? Somebody's going to nick it or, whatever. So it's like,
You hate my Gucci bag.
I do hate your Gucci bag. It's disgusting. So it's like getting out there, doing experiences with your money, our newfound money, if you like, because we're, as I said, once again, we're in this position now where we've been in jobs for a few years and we've like got some money behind us and, we've got no other commitments. So I'd much rather spend my money on experiences than just material things.
Yeah, mine's material things. I'm going to get it.
This is my favourite question, right? Because I love spending money. I buy so much crap, and like 9 out of 10, the purchases suck, and it just ends up being a waste of money. However, right, there's been 2 things that I've bought this year, right, that have been absolute game changers for me. First of all, the VW Caddy. Like, I haven't had a car for like over a year by the time I bought it, which was in March, because my car got crashed into, and because I was working in London, I was like, you know what, I don't need a car, and I ended up becoming like the most miserable person of 2023. Not having a car is awful. I wouldn't recommend it. If you can get a car and drive, do it, because after 10 years of owning a car and being able to drive anywhere at any given time, not having that was just so depressing. So when I got the Caddy, it was like the perfect opportunity to like go out, do some more day trips and stuff, go camping, and it was just brilliant.
Okay, mine is Italian comic books, specifically by this guy Zero Calcari. So it's part of the learning Italian thing. Been listening to the music, been watching Italian crime dramas, amazing. And as well, started as I've got to the point of being able to struggling through literature. And comic books are a great way to do that because things are obviously a little bit less dense verbally, so there's more space to like break down things and, I guess perhaps less complicated words, so you're needing to look things up less, a bit more fluid going through it. But this comic book artist, Zero Calcari, really, really cool. And I bought a few comic books from him. And this is probably the purchase book I was like, wow, that's so cool. Money can be exchanged for goods and services to maximise your utility in the economic definition. And wow, this really maximised my utility. So I haven't actually read this yet, but I've read a few others from him that are upstairs. And I saw this one when we were in Bologna, so I made sure to get it.
Nice.
But yeah, it's been really exciting kind of going through it. I love the art style. He says some really profound things.
The second best purchase was these little Velcro strips, right? You wrap these round an end of a cable, you roll the cable up, and then you tie it over. This sounds really trivial and stupid, but These things have been a game changer for keeping organised. I have miles of cable that are always all over the place. They're always so disorganised. And just by having these little Velcro strips just to be able to time and keep it organised is just so good.
My biggest influence this year was me 3 years ago. I never want to be that person again. I was weak, fragile, complacent, anxious, scared, and I've taken so many life lessons from who I was at that moment in time. I resent who I've been then, but I needed to be that person to be who I am today. So it sounds very conceited, but yeah, definitely me from 3 years ago. And I've backed myself, and I've done the best I can, and I'm proud of it.
I ain't gonna say my biggest influence this year is probably my mum. Yeah, I think this year has been a real good year for like understanding what she went through when she was a single parent, and like that for me, I don't think I was cognizant of. Like, I think I dismissed it, and like being a single parent is tough. Like, you have ups and downs. It's a real roller coaster of emotions, and I had a really good chat with her about it, and it made me see like you're not on your own always with stuff, and like most people that are older have been through shit that you've not been through, and like they're able to offer you advice and opinions, and yeah.
People I'm inspired by, I'll say as well. So like my mum and dad, I would say, because they've reached the stage that they always wanted to, which is retiring and having the opportunity to do lots of stuff, which I think is inspiring. Like what they've done and the way they've raised me and my brother and stuff is, yeah, credit to them. Like amazing. Very, very thankful to them. So yeah, I'm inspired by them, influenced by them even. But I would say I'm influenced by just the people around me, like quite influenced by you, I would say. You know,
I'm so sorry.
Tattoos. The tattoo, for example, like that's an example of an influence. But no, it's like it's positive in positive ways. People around me, so like, you know, I mean, influence to do things I wouldn't necessarily have done. Like, for example, these trips I mentioned before, like the trip to Montreal to go over to Dom's Canadian wedding. I was really skeptical at one point, and then if I wasn't like influenced by you and ads saying, "Oh, it'd be great," like, you know, wouldn't have gone and done it otherwise. So, but I'd say I'm influenced also by obviously my girlfriend, who I see every week. But yeah, no, it's always been a bit like we're an hour drive apart, so it's always a bit difficult. But I'm influenced by her, also inspired by her, I would say, because she's doing her PhD and she's smashing it. She goes through really tough periods at times, like 12, 13-hour days. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, today I finished at 4 because I had a really not busy day. So it's like, you know, by comparison, I'm like, hey, you know, credit to you, like really influenced by these people.
I suppose, again, like there's a few different answers to that question. I think in a way, like myself is an influence, like being better to myself and being kinder to myself, again, as cringe as that is to say, but I needed to have that realization. But then I think also like there's a future, you know, maybe hypothetical world in which I have a family that I need to look after, and I'm starting to think about that too. It's not there yet, but that is still an influence as well. Like the decisions that you make today could affect them in the future, and that's kind of what's, I think, inspiring me the most right now. I think with my job, there's certain like students that I do find really inspiring, and especially the ones that have, you know, very difficult things going on, and you take it for granted because little problems that you might have seem inconsequential when you think about what other people have going on, and that shouldn't, you know, detract from what's going on in your world, but sometimes that in itself is quite inspiring. Like if they can get through something, then you can too.
What are your plans and what do you hope to achieve next year?
Okay, what I plan to achieve next year is to purchase the home I'm trying to buy, which obviously then means I need to sell this flat. I start a new job in February, and I hope to hit the ground running with that. I have started a personal trainer 3 weeks ago, so I have 3 fitness goals. I'd like to be able to bench press my own weight. I want to be able to squat my weight and a half, and I want to deadlift 2 times my weight. So it's 80 kilos, 120 and 160 respectively. I want to keep the Spanish going. I don't want to repeat words that I know mean stuff. I want to learn how to conjugate in the language correctly. And I want my missus to live with me. So, you know, Keir Starmer, hook my girl up with a visa, for fuck's sake.
Big one is getting an EP out. I think we're going to get an EP out. I think me and Steph will work on the EP and then get that into an album format as well. Have something that is a full piece of art that we can look back on. And I also think we'll play live next year. I do. I think I'll play like more next year live to a real crowd. I think we'll impress people. I think we'll do really, really, really fucking well. Demonetized. Really fucking well. And I think we'll have a hell of a good time doing it. Probably meet more people, get into the scene, get well known. 2025.
So main focus is wedding. That's our top priority. Want to do it next year. Do something small, close friends and family. And then, just focus on the house, get it all wrapped up. It's mainly just fine tweaking. And then get the garage to the point where it's usable so we can start doing band practice in there. I can maybe get a project car. Focus on holidays. I think we want to go to Germany. Maybe do a little road trip from like Cologne to Berlin. And then we were aiming to go to Japan in October and maybe Korea if we have time and work lets me. And just start enjoying life more. Don't take things so seriously. Work's ticking over nicely. Steph and Gaz are super supportive and I don't thank them enough for it. They make my life a lot easier at work and I need to rely on them more because we've all got each other's backs. That will make my life and everyone's life easier. Just start to enjoy the little things. Take a step back, have a breather.
25, definitely going to be travel more. I say it every fucking year. I do travel as much as I can, but definitely try and travel more, even if it's just a short trip. Like even the UK, we did the Lake District this year, and I've been before, but it was really cool to go back. And there's loads of places I haven't been and I want to see. And other than that, just keep grinding. Just pedal to the metal, momentum, speed, aggression, get shit done. I mean, there's no...
Oh, don't ask that. I don't know. I really am not sure. I think my hope for next year is that I have a plan, that I come up with a plan. I don't know what I'm doing, and it's a little bit scary, but it's also a little bit relaxing to not have something that I'm working on. I need to just work on little like hobbies, spend more time doing those things that I love that are, quite playful as well, like do more skating, do more climbing, be outside more, be in the woods more, like that's something that I've not done for a long time and I used to do that a lot and I need to do that more. It's more like kind of health, like holistic things, like be more consistent with the gym, save more money, basic stuff. There's not a big thing right now.
I'm probably going to be a bit anticlimactic here because I don't really know what to say.
Fair enough.
I just think I want to keep the energy going of, keeping up hobbies, finding new ones, spending time with like the great people like that we know.
Yeah. Learning
more about yourself, picking up new skills. I think as you get older, like soft skills is a massive one.
That's huge, yeah.
And I think it's really enjoyable, like watching that develop, very satisfying, slowly getting better at communicating with people, having difficult conversations, these kind of skills that you need that take time in adult life to develop. More of that, plus, it's on some of the travel stuff, like we were saying about people inspiring us with ideas of trips and about Japan.
Yeah, that plays into my answer as well. Like more trips, more gigs. More band sessions, like just keep up the good stuff, like the things that we're doing on a daily basis, like going to the gym and you know, like really happy with progress with that, and you know, makes you feel really good on a daily basis. You know, keep doing the things that like tide you over, if you like, you know, just like, and yeah, just having fun, like trying to really narrow it down to just like, you know, if it's simple but you like it, do it.
Yeah.
Whether it's like playing video games or
Yeah.
listening to music every day. For me, also, like on a professional note, next year I'm hoping to like gun for promotion and that sort of stuff, and plays into the soft skills point you mentioned, because it's like, not only is it difficult conversations that you can have with people in relation to any other topic, but it's like plugging yourself, like, you know, you're, you know, chatting yourself up the whole time, and fighting for what you think you deserve.
Yeah.
And there it is. That's the 2024 360 performance review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I will see you in 2025.